All right, super excited today. Got my main man, Miguel Johnson, 22-year-old Facebook and funnel professional. He's really helped build the Facebook ads and funnels for 3 different 6-figure businesses. So the guy knows his shit. And I've known Miguel for quite some time. Actually, he came to my last seminar, my Online SuperCoach seminar about 3 months ago. And it was funny because I saw Miguel and his friend laughing a bunch of times. I'm like, man, I wonder what they're laughing at. You know, at the end of the seminar, I was like, what's so funny? And he's like, man, we're laughing at your jokes. And I'm like, holy shit, okay. I thought you were laughing at me.
Yeah, it was definitely a hilarious event. We were very confused because we were like, how is no one else cracking up at this?
I got a unique sense of humor, and you know, doing the stand-up comedy, I'll slip a few jokes here and there. And thank you for appreciating my humor.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Thank you. Thank you. So cool. What is a quote or a mantra that fires you up?
A mantra that fires me up? The one that I've been constantly thinking about recently is everyone, I've been studying NLP a lot recently. And the thing that they said that was very powerful that I'm constantly thinking about is everyone is doing the best with what they've got. So yeah, just like me and everybody at the levels understanding like where everyone is at. Everyone has like a certain level of intelligence, a certain depth of knowledge that they've all got into, and everyone's doing the best with that.
Yes, that's very powerful. And you get to see like your friends, your family, your students from a whole different lens.
Yep. It makes everything like less judgmental. There's like no ego to anything. Like once you like just really take that to heart.
Love that. Love that. Awesome. Cool.
What about you?
Mine is really simple. Let's maximize this moment. Right now we have this incredible Facebook presentation. I got notes. I want to be fully here and present with everyone here and you. And I'm always a student, you know, even though I've built my own 7-figure business, I'm always learning. There's always more lead generation, conversion. So I'm excited for this whole presentation.
Yeah, me too, man. So yeah, should we just go ahead and kick off into it then?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead. You lead the way.
All right. If I can just screen share. Boom. All right, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So I guess like I want to start off with talking about the strategies first and foremost that I'm thinking about because as I'm doing ads, because I feel like with that, then no matter what, even if I do show you guys something specific, as long as you have like the overall strategy behind everything, then you can apply that to any sort of ad that you're doing, whether it be coaching or you're trying to sell a course, you're trying to get leads. If you have an understanding of like funnels and Facebook ads, then you'll be able to attack it with no matter what it is that you've got going on. So there's a few things that I'm constantly keeping under consideration when I'm just starting. That is the target market, the actual ad, and the part that I feel like gets neglected the most, the copy. And these three things together is what I'm honestly like researching the most. Doing the most research constantly on these three things. I'm sure AJ's talked to you guys about doing your target market research multiple times, but if there's any questions you have about that, or if something's not totally clear, I'm more than happy to go through certain things with that. But yes. These are the 3 things that I'm thinking about the most. And reason for that is because if you know who it is that you're marketing to, then you know what messaging will relate to them the most, and what it is that. Sorry, let me grab something.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. And one thing I teach probably also at the program is the importance of your target market. You got to be focused on a specific niche. And the more that you understand their fears, frustrations, dreams, and desires, the easier it is to create ads for them and sell them into your funnels. So yes, for the most part, a lot of people on here understand their target market, but the biggest thing is to obviously get more and more educated on who that is you want to target.
Mm-hmm. So
okay, you got it. See a red stick figure and a green stick figure. Sad and happy. Hey, Miguel, I think we lost your audio for some reason. I can't hear you. Hey, Miguel.
There it goes. I don't know why it keeps doing that. All right. So
the last thing we saw was the red and green stick figure. And just if you could explain what that was.
Yes. So basically what I was saying was the ultimate thing that you want to keep in mind is what is the goal for your Facebook ads. And I'm pretty sure majority of your guys' cases, it's, okay, I want to get someone to sign up with coaching for me. So we have to think about multiple different avenues that we can try and bring people through in order to get someone from this spot over here, which is ultimately just working with you. So there's multiple ways to do that. The main funnel that I like to use in order to bring people down into any sort of offer is going to be lead magnet funnels. And it's a very good way of qualifying who it is that you want to work with, because you're able to make it so niche specific to the point where the only people who are going to actually get whatever lead magnet it is, whether it be an ebook or a free call, anything like that. You can make it so niche specific to the point where you're already sort of qualifying the people who are getting the leads that you're getting from the start. So not only that, but you can make this profitable by selling stuff on the back end. But in this case, what I would do if I were in your shoes, if I were like, hey, I'm a coach, I would like to just get people on the phone, is I would give away lead magnets and then have the application to get on the phone with you right after that. Reason for that is because there's this weird thing in psychology, mainly cell psychology, that was made very popular by this guy, Robert Cialdini, called reciprocity. For whatever reason, whenever we're given something by anyone, we have this weird inclination inside of our human brains where we have this need to want to give back, which is why giving away something for free to the people who you would like money from is so powerful. And it's worked for me on multiple times. I have an ad that I will show you. I'm not able to show you inside of the ads manager, but we can go into my client's info and ads section, where I've had an ad running for over a year, and it's been getting leads from the market for under 10 cents over the course of a year. And it's gotten to the point where Facebook literally just knows who to look for. And I'll get more into that in a second, but I've been able to just get so many leads because of this type of funnel where not only am I getting leads, but I'm getting them to purchase something immediately after. And yeah, yep. So that is the lead magnet funnel, and because I know my ultimate goal. So in my case, I'm looking for people who are struggling to not struggling to get the body that they want through using a gym. So now they've moved over to calisthenics. They want to use calisthenics now. So not only do I use a lead magnet where it literally says calisthenics, but in the copy, which is why the copy is so important, I'm calling them out. So I'm making sure the headline says something along the lines of, hey, so if I were to just, so I use the headline at the beginning of the ad to call them out. So making sure I use the words calisthenics, or you don't need a gym, or bodyweight exercises, anything along those lines, so that when they see that first line, they are immediately intrigued, because it's something that refers to them, or something that they've been talking about. I'm sure you guys have noticed, but Facebook and Instagram are 100% listening to our conversations. So if someone is talking about calisthenics or bodyweight exercises and that pops up inside of their feed, they're more likely to stop at it. So that first line is crucial to getting them to actually click on it, because that is the ultimate first goal. There's sorry if I'm a little all over the place, but it's the way my brain works. There's a rule in copy that you can sort of apply to anything and everything it is that you're doing, where it's called next step. We can call it next step. It's actually called next line as far as copy, but the rule applies across the board. What is the next step that you want them to take? So in this ads case, well, in copywriting, it's for example, in email, the headlines, the reason the headline exists is because you want them to open the email. The reason for the first line inside of that email is to get them to read the second line. The reason, the whole point of the second line is to get them to read the third line, so on and so on and so on, until you're at the call to action, aka the link, where the whole reason before that link is to get them to click it, and the words inside of that link is to get them to actually click the link. And then the headline on that page, for next step. So you can apply the same exact thing to ads, where the entire point of the headline is just to get them to read the next line, to get them to stop even. So I want the headline just purely to get them to stop. I want the next couple of parts of the copy to be curiosity engaging and to introduce their pain. So I want them to bring up that pain, because you can catch anyone. Ads pop up at random, so people can be in any sort of mood, be doing any sort of thing. They could be eating their lunch and just scrolling through Facebook or Instagram. So they're not actually thinking about that pain point in that exact moment. So it's the ad's job to bring that back up, so that they're back into that state of mind, because people are just fluid creatures. They're not going to be thinking about that 100% of the time. So we want to call them out with the headline and then bring that pain back up with the first couple of letters. But you don't want to give them everything, because you also want it to be curiosity inducing, because the next step is you want them to get that, doesn't say click more. It says, on my eraser. Okay. You want them to, click that see more button on the ads. So let's see. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that, but this. So this is actually, that's a retargeting ad. So this is actually a very good example where I'm saying you may have had a similar experience. People led me to believe that I needed a gym in order to get in shape and build tons of muscle. Turns out this is a cold, hard lie, and calisthenics was the key that helped me change my life. See more. I'm calling them out. I'm being of extremely curiosity inducing because it starts off with this very vague sentence. This is the ad that's been running for a year, by the way. So it's this very vague statement that at least draws them in to make them go, what? Not only that, but sorry about that. This video starts off with him doing no hands push-ups, which also gets them to stop. Gyms don't want you to know about this. Also vague, curiosity inducing. And then I make sure to call them out and say, people led me to believe that I needed a gym in order to get in shape. And I make sure to say calisthenics before the see more. So I say that you don't need a gym, build muscle. And I also make sure to say that calisthenics is the key. Also curiosity inducing, and the headline right here, also just to get them to stop. A lot of people assume that they want this to get them to click the button. But in reality, at least the way that I've been using it and seeing success is that having something here that calls out the market, for example, discover how to avoid killer mistakes doing calisthenics, which also just so happens to be the headline on the sales page that this takes them to, is what gets them to stop, because it lets them know, oh, wait a second, I do calisthenics, or now that we know Facebook listens, I was just talking about calisthenics with a friend the other day. I wonder what that's about. Mind you, most people don't realize that Facebook is listening. The only reason you probably have, if anyone has noticed that, is because we're on the other side of it. So most people don't notice that. They think it's just coincidence. I was just talking about this with my friend. Now it says calisthenics. So that's very much going to get them to stop. So you want to use all of these things into your favor, and that is why I'm focusing so heavily on copy right now. So after you get them to stop with both headlines, so the headline that pops up on the bottom of the ad next to the button, as well as the headline that shows up at the start of the description of the ad that you are writing, your next step is just to get them to read, same way that you would write copy for an email or a sales page, anything like that. Your whole goal is to, so just basically you want to relate with them. We're in a very interesting spot. I don't know how many people in here are doing coaching for fitness, but we're in an interesting spot inside of the fitness space where you're not allowed to say very certain things. You're definitely not allowed to say you. Facebook doesn't like you talking directly to people because they feel like it's too strong. You're not allowed to body shame in any sort of way, so you can't use before after images, stuff like that. That would highly suggest, if you are in the health and fitness space, to just do your due diligence and research on what Facebook allows for us to do, because I have had an ad account shut down, and I know multiple other people inside of the fitness space who have had ad accounts shut down because there's just a lot of rules. So in the rest of the ad, you want to relate to them. You want to slowly bring up the offer, but you still want to leave an air of mystery so they have a reason to click the link, so you can let them know the offer, or let them know the benefits, but still give them a reason to click through, and let them know that in the end, in your guys' case, that the idea is that you want them to get on a call with you, and you want them even better would be apply, because then it adds that air of exclusivity as well, and you're able to actually track your leads. So that is basically the bulk of ads in general, in terms of writing it. The whole learning copy is a whole beast in of itself. But what would make all of this significantly more powerful, if this will just let me zoom out. Okay, I'm just gonna make a new page because I'm new to using OneNote, so there's certain things.
Yeah, no problem. Actually, while you're doing that, I just want to share a simple ad that's been working really great for me, and it's along those same lines. It's a simple calling out your target market, adding an engaging photo, and I'm happy to share even the template that I used. But this way you have like an example of something that you could get going very quickly. So I'm going to just share my screen for a second, if that's okay with you, Miguel, and it'll piggyback on what you were doing. Let me see, request remote control, exit full screen. Okay. As you're using that, I'm using this share. Okay. Yes. Okay, cool. So you guys can see my screen. You should see me holding up a phone with a selfie. Just type in yes, yes inside the chat box to make sure that you can see my screen and the ad that I'm showing you right now. Yes, yes would be great. Phenomenal. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. So this is actually an ad that I got from one of my mastermind buddies. His name is Kevin Hutto. And actually Rachel set this up. And this ad is working extremely well. In fact, like in a week, I got 32 leads. And it's a very simple premise, okay? There's a photo, and of course, I like to test 6 photos at a time. So I had 6 photos of mine with a simple ad copy. And I'll just read the first few sentences of what hooks people in. I know what you're thinking. Is this AJ guy really gonna help me grow my online fitness coaching business? Or is he just another dude who wants to play with my time and money? You can literally use that for your target market, whether it's life coaching, dating, fitness. But what makes this ad so powerful is I'm not trying to sell them anything. All I'm doing is sending them to my messenger, okay? So I'm basically giving them the ability to have skepticism, right? Be skeptical, that's totally cool. I just want to brainstorm a game plan for you. And all I'm doing is getting them to message me, okay? So this has been a really successful ad and has gotten, like I said, 32 leads that I'm transitioning into sales calls. And all they do is send a message. They send a message, I get an alert on my business page, and then I just slide it back and forth in the DMs. So this is an example of a simple ad with simple copy, and boom, you do it. So you just basically take this template. If you want, you can take a screenshot of it, somehow capture it, and adding 6 photos, ideally, the more the better. This way, you do a split test. You put out the ad and you see which photo converts the most. Within 24 hours to 48 hours, you get some data. And then this one outperformed all the other ones, all the different photos of myself that I had, but it's the same exact copy, the same exact text. And every single person that clicks on this, they send a message and they slide up in my DM, and then I just go back and forth with them, get them on a sales call. So this is like a super simple ad you can literally set up and just generate leads and at the same time grow your following. So Miguel, what's your take on this ad?
I love it. I can see that being extremely powerful because they don't even have to leave Facebook.
Yes, exactly. That's the biggest thing, because I've been running ads since 2012. And back in the day, we would literally just have an ad that went to a phone call, and we're getting a ton of phone calls, probably 20, 30 phone calls a day, you know? But now it's so competitive and it's so expensive. So you cannot sell people directly off of Facebook. Most people will send them to a webinar or a sales page. 99% of the time, it will not work unless you're Tony Robbins or Oprah, you know? But for us, small business owners, you want to keep them within Facebook. So if you send them to a Facebook group or you send them to a Facebook message, you'll have a much higher success rate. And of course, like Miguel will get into, and he was kind of hinting at, you could retarget them. So whoever clicks on this ad, you retarget them for pennies a click. You show them more of your ads. So my main objective is to start the conversation, to get them slap on my DM. I'll add them as a friend. I'll grow my following. For those of you that have very small organic followings, this simple ad is a great way to get outside of your local reach. So Miguel, back to you. If you want to grab the screen, go ahead.
Awesome. It says you have to stop sharing first.
Stop share, boom.
Awesome. Okay, so that's perfect. So now you guys have got into ads, and that's actually a perfect segue into retargeting. So there's a concept Russell Brunson talks about in a lot of his courses and his books where he talks about traffic that you own. So the name of the game on Facebook, the way that I'm doing it, is I'm trying to change as much of the traffic that is on Facebook into traffic that I own. Meaning it's their emails that I have or they're people that I've pixeled. So now I'm able to market directly to those people instead of having to go fishing inside of Facebook's pool. So that is where retargeting comes in. Just so you have an idea of how powerful retargeting can be. Let's see if I can find. All right, cool. So this ad is running to cold traffic, just people who have never heard of my client before. And I'm trying to get them to buy something. It's a super long ad. I have to write a bunch. I have to sell them a ton to try and get them to buy something. And the return on ad spend is anywhere from 1.5 to 3. Like it's always pretty random. Meaning for every dollar that I'm spending, I'm making $1.50 to $3. So it can be that random with that ad. For something like this, a retargeting ad, or even better, this one, because I remember checking this one this morning, the return on ad spend is usually above 15, and that is because it's a retargeting ad. I'm able to speak to them significantly more contextual. They've already seen the offer before. Chances are the only reason they didn't buy it is because they were busy or because they just needed more time to think about it. So retargeting in and of itself is actually, yeah. So ideally, you would be in a perfect world, you would have your ad, you would make your offer, you would get them on the phone, and then you'd go ahead and close them. That's basically like the high ticket funnel in a nutshell. You make the ad. Obviously, there's like the offer can be on a sales page or can be on a phone. The way AJ does it in Messenger, gets them on the phone, closes them. In a perfect world, that is how it would work every single time. Unfortunately, the world is not perfect, but what you can do is if you were to literally think about a funnel as an actual funnel, is you can think of retargeting as plugging the leaks. So let's say someone, the only way you could do this is by having certain pixel setup, stuff like that. But let's say someone sees your ad and they don't take the action, but this only actually works for video ads. But let's say they watched 50% of your video ad, but they didn't do anything after that. You can send them right back. You can have a different ad that sends them right back to the offer. And then you're able to be significantly more contextual. So you can say, hey, like you're like, for example, in the ad that I got showed you, like I know they've seen this program before. So I say this deal isn't going to be around forever. Like I'm able to be way more contextual to what it is that's going on. So you could do the same thing for literally every single part of the funnel. And this is where it gets very lucrative. And once you have everything set up and turning, you can basically just turn it on. It becomes a machine. And then all you have to do is just go in and maintain it and make sure nothing breaks. So same thing for the offer. Let's say someone makes it to a landing page if you have one. So let's say they hit the landing page, but they don't actually take you up on your offer. They don't actually get on the phone with you. Same thing. you can go ahead and have a separate ad that shows up for them, takes them right back to the offer, tries to get them on the phone. You can have people that get on the phone where you can make sure there's a very specific landing page that they hit on if they fill out the application properly. And then if they don't get on the phone with you, you can have a completely different ad that shows up for them. That is where retargeting gets extremely lucrative. The size of the audience of people who are going to be seeing the ad is significantly smaller, which means you can say things to them that is very specific. I notice that whenever my ads do the best is because everything is very contextual. I'm saying, hey, this thing that I'm sure you saw, like I allude to it because once again, Facebook is a little bit iffy. If you say that you're following them overtly, they will shut down your ad account. So you have to like finesse the words a little bit, which is why I said this deal isn't going to be around forever. Instead of saying, yo, you just looked at this deal, why didn't you get it? I sort of just allude to the fact that they've seen it before instead of just outright saying it. Same thing right here, want a deal instead.
By the way, this is something that is really, really ninja that you guys probably don't even know about, but Facebook allows you to see every page's information and ads, just like what Miguel's doing. If there are, let's say, 3 people who are your competition or a company that you inspire to be, let's say if you are a men's dating coach, look for the top 3 men's dating coaches' business pages, go onto their info and ads, and you will quickly see which ads are running. And it's really simple to see like what's obviously converting, you know what I mean? But any page you go on, boom, you're going to see all the ads that they're currently running. So obviously you never want to copy anyone's ads, but for ideas, you'll see their video ads, their text ads. And then if you want to take it one step further, there's something called the Facebook ads spy tool. You can literally Google that and it'll show you the actual numbers on what is the most high converting ad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. If you guys noticed, I randomly just went to this random restaurant and scrolled to the bottom what he was talking about, info and ads. And you can see the actual ads that they have running. The thing that they don't show you is the engagement on it. Like you're not allowed to go ahead and see the comments. You can't even go and look at the ad. It would have to just randomly pop up for you. But you are able to go in and actually see the ads that are running. And if you want to know which ads are doing the best, you would just, you would literally just have to go in and check multiple times and see if the same ad has been around for another month. If that ad is still there, that means it's probably doing very well.
That's a great point. That's a great point. If you see the same ad on your news feed for a long period of time, it's making a lot of money.
Yep. So that's basically retargeting, reciprocity, turning traffic into traffic that you own. You can do the same thing, not actually inside of Facebook, but just grabbing their leads through the use of the lead magnet stuff we were talking about earlier, where you're basically getting their email by giving them something for free, and then you're able to make them offers through email marketing and stuff like that. Which also becomes powerful because then if Facebook ever goes away, you still have all of the leads that you ever gotten. That's basically it. If you guys want, there's actually one thing I do want to show you that I've noticed that not a lot of people use, which is this tool called Audience Insights. So when you're doing your research on your target market, there's a tool that you can use inside of Facebook called Audience Insights, and you're basically able to see what a certain target market is looking at and the state that they're in, the age range that they're in. So, for example, the one that I guess we can do anything. So. Oh, sorry, looking at the wrong thing. Cool. All right. So I'm able to literally go into bodybuilding. So this is what Facebook sees across the board for people who are interested into bodybuilding. They are significantly into sales. Like I'm able to see the different jobs that they have. I'm able to see whether or not they're married or single, which means I can run ads to, like, you can go very specific and you can say, oh, okay, hey, do you want to look good for your wife, and run it to guys into bodybuilding who are married. And you're like, you can literally make it that specific. Single, I bet you if I change this from any to, whoa. So notice I changed it from all to men 18 to 25, and the married category just dropped down, and single went all the way up. So now I'm able to say completely, I'm happy to have a completely different sort of messaging to get that person into the door. Not only that, I can look at the different pages that they're interested in, so that, and this is actual stuff that you can put into targeting inside of Facebook. I'm able to see the main pages that that group of people would like. I'm able to see the countries that, well, in this case, the states, because I have the United States selected. I'm able to see the top places that they are located in. And I'm able to just do a significant amount of research. So I want you guys have this tool inside of your belt, because it is something that is extremely powerful, that should be used way more often than it is. Other than that, that's like the bulk of it. If you guys have the copy, if you guys ran your ads using the copy methods that we talked about, did a little bit more studying on copying, on writing copy, started converting traffic into yours, and started to run retargeting ads as well. It's honestly hard to mess up on Facebook. They try to make it as easy as possible. The key is to just let Facebook do its thing. And yeah, that's basically it. If you guys want me to show you like the targeting inside of Facebook, we can, just so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, you can let me know if that's something you guys are interested in.
Yes. No, this is great. I just want to recap for people that are just coming on, or, kind of just a little bit overwhelmed. It's like super duper simple. Here are some simple action steps to just kind of get going. Is like, just look at your top 3 competitors of people that have your client already. Go on to their business page, go into the info and ads, and look at all the ads. Look at which one aligns the most with you, whether it's a video ad or a text post. Simple as that. You want to model but not copy, and literally set up a similar ad going into Business Manager. I like to do like $10 a day. Miguel, like, how much do you typically do for your daily budget to test out an ad?
So all of my clients start off broke. So I have to do $5 a day, and then just slowly scale up from there.
Yep, there you go. $5-10 a day. And obviously the purpose of the ad is to convert. And of course, like, you're going to get this question, Miguel, I've been running ads for 3 days. I spent $15. I'm not making any money. Ads don't work. What do you say to them?
You have to try significantly more. There's a lot of people who do statistics on ads, and it said that only 1 out of every 7 ads that you place is going to be successful. And these are from people who are like spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads, or making like really, really, really big businesses, and they're like, yeah, 1 out of 7 works.
Exactly. And that's why, like, I'm a big believer in testing a lot of photos, because obviously if you, let's say, model a page that already converts well, you got to test out different photos, and like I said, to keep it super simple, you can literally just set up a messenger ad where people just DM you and they start the conversation. Like, if you spend, let's say, $5 a day for 2 weeks, 5 times 14, I'm not good at math. Let's say 20 days. That's easier. You spend $100 on 20 days of running an ad. And if you close $1,000 client, you just profited $900. So don't be afraid to spend some money, because one high ticket client is going to pay for the entire month's ad spend.
Yeah, that is the beauty of selling high ticket through ads, is that you have way more room to work with.
Yes. Yes. So, and this is great too, because we have a short amount of time. And if you guys have any questions, now's the time to ask Miguel. He's been very helpful with his time, with his value, the insider stuff that he does for his clients. But if you have any specific questions, now's the time to ask. But if you're not running ads, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because most people say that, oh, I got to be more experienced, or, I need to make more money to run ads. Like, you're missing out on money. Like I said, I've been running ads since 2012. Business goes up, business goes down, but the ads are still running. So Kevin asks, what are some good books on copywriting?
Favorite book by far is Kick-Ass Copywriting Secrets of a Marketing Rebel. It's someone just got excited. You can find it randomly on the internet, but I think it's like a $200 book that you have to find online. It's written like a sales page, which is why it's so good. That's by far my favorite. The other one is Born Letters. That's really good for email marketing, because it's literally him writing letters to
yes, Gary Halbert, one of the best.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's writing letters to his son, which is why it's so good for email marketing, and he also gets tips.
Actually, Gary Halbert has this website called the Gary Halbert Letter, and it's essentially all of his sales letters and all of his high converting copy. And how I learned it, I actually wrote them out in hand.
Yes.
I have a notebook, and basically whenever I see good ads, I just write them out with hand. So let's say if you go to a page and the copy's amazing, the more you write it, the more you download that skill into your subconscious mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep. When I first started learning copy, I would go to ClickBank, find the best converting sales pages, and just write them by hand.
Genius. Yeah. So actually, Rachel has a question. I'm going to unmute her because Rachel actually runs my ads. So it's going to be a ninja question. Rachel, I'm going to unmute you so you can ask the man, Miguel. All right.
Hey guys. Well, my question was just revolving around the beginning. You were talking about how you would get leads and then straight away they would purchase.
Mm-hmm.
And so my question to you was, were they purchasing like lower end programs, or were they purchasing high ticket, and like how did that process go? Or were you selling them into a lower end program and then a higher end program after, or what was like that process that you took them through?
Mm-hmm. So unfortunately the answer is both.
Okay.
For the clients that my personal clients, it's always lower ticket offers, because they just don't really want to do high ticket quite yet. So it's always something under $10. I'm just trying to get them to buy something, because there's been studies done. I always forget the exact percentage, but it's like something like some crazy number, like 90%. It's 90% easier to sell to someone who's bought something from you before.
Right.
So I'm just trying to get them to just take their wallet out. Like, even if I can get them to spend $1, like, I consider that a win. And then after that, like, I just try to sell them a bunch of other stuff, because I'm working with lower ticket items. I'm just trying to get as much volume as possible. But I have done it the other way, where I just get them to give their email, and then someone's getting on the phone with them and closing them on very expensive stuff, like $5,000 up.
So like, from what you said, it sounds like you're selling lower end ticket programs on like a sales page kind of thing. And then if you want to sell the higher end programs, you would just get them straight, like email, phone number, and then hit them up and then do that type of warm up process through the phone.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Jeremy Jones asks, when starting a first ad with a $10 daily budget, do you start with how many ad sets? Is that $10 daily with only one ad set, or start with multiple copy option ad sets or image options? So like I said, you want to use multiple images to test, but what do you recommend, like, in terms of the budget?
In terms of the budget, if you're working with an extremely low budget at first, I would focus 100% on the ad copy and the targeting. Because if you get the right people and you get them resonating with what you're saying, then the likelihood of them actually buying from you is going to be way, way, way higher. But you can only figure that. So like, yeah, at the very beginning, like I just got a client. I just said, okay, cool, let's do ads, and they haven't run any, and we only have like so much money to work with. I'm going to test 2 images and 4 different types of ad copy. All of them leading, with a different lead in, trying to see who is actually resonating. I'll test target market a lot. I'm honestly just trying to see if I can put the right offer in front of the right person at first. And normally I won't go over $15 until I know for a fact what I'm doing is working, and then I'll scale from there.
All right. Dan says, I'm new to Facebook ads. I've done a few. Is there some ads manager where it says retargeting?
No, it doesn't say retargeting. What it is it's just the name of the strategy. So retargeting is like you can make custom audiences of people. This is stuff. So these are the things I would write down, because then you're able to actually like Google them.
Write these down.
Yeah. So the stuff that you would want to Google are how do you guys use ClickFunnels at all, or is it just like a sales page or anything like that?
ClickFunnels and lead pages mostly people use.
Okay, cool, perfect. So you can Google how do I make a custom audience using ClickFunnels or lead pages. You would make sure you know how to put the pixel on the funnel, and then from there you would literally just exclude an audience. So let's say you're running ads to people who are into bodybuilding, and then you would exclude people who have taken the action that you want. And then since you have a custom audience of people who have hit a page, so a custom audience is like, okay, people who have hit a very specific page, you would name it, whatever page that is. And then you can run ads to people who have hit the page. So when it asks you, who would you like this ad to go to inside of Facebook Ads Manager, there's going to be a part where you can say, you can pick your custom audience. So people who have hit this page in the past 5 days, for example. You can make sure the only people who are seeing that ad are those people. So that's what retargeting is.
Absolutely. And also, like, if you're just never ran ads and you maybe spent some money in the past, you want to know the basics. Facebook has some fundamental free ad training called the Facebook Blueprint. And if you just Google Facebook Blueprint, it'll teach you a lot of the basic stuff to just get going. And use a lot of these strategies to kind of develop that basic ad test.
Social media, when I was first learning, what I learned a lot of the basics from were 2 podcasts. Am I allowed to mention other podcasts?
Absolutely. Value. Just want to add value.
Okay. 2 podcasts that I used to listen to was Social Media Marketing World. I believe that's the name of it. If you search that up, I know it'll pop up. And the other one was, I always forget the name of it, but the guy who owns it, his name is Rick Mulready. So if you look up Rick Mulready, the second you start getting advanced, the stuff, it's not quite as useful. But as far as like learning the basics of like how Facebook works and like the main strategies that you want to be using that still work, that they talk a lot about that, especially in the earlier episodes.
So typically when you're like helping someone and they don't have a big budget, you recommend like $5 a day. So essentially 5 times 30, that's $150 a month for their ad budget.
I'm going to assume that math is right.
Yes. We're both not the best mathematicians. You can get a calculator out and confirm that. But essentially it's like, you got to have some money in the bank to spend, because at the end of the day, again, imagine you're selling $1,000 program, right? And you're spending $200 a month. Let's say in 3 months, that's $600. In 4 months, that's $800. You could literally run that ad for 4 months. And even if you sell it, you'll become profitable, right? $200 profit, but still you have to think about that in mind. That's only for $1,000 program. If you have obviously a higher ticket program, right? 5,000, man, you can literally run ads for 6 months. So don't get so caught up on the budget. The budget is really your education. If you don't pay, you don't pay attention. So for me, it's like I'm spending upwards of sometimes $30,000, $40,000 a month, but I'm watching those ads like a mofo because I'm spending that much money.
Yep. You definitely, you're able to know exactly what it is that you should be doing when you know the cost of acquisition. So how much is it going to cost you to get that customer versus how much it costs you to maintain everything. How much does it cost you to how much do they actually pay up front? Like, as long as you know, okay, cool, I'm going to profit. If someone pays me 1,000, I profit about like 900 from that. So I can't spend no more than $800. Or technically you could spend 900 and just assume that you're going to sign them again later on.
Yes, absolutely. That's the biggest thing. It's understanding that sometimes there is the, what's it called? The lifetime value of a client, right? So, okay, so I'll give you guys a simple understanding. This really changed my mindset towards marketing. So let's just say, for example, if I sell a $5,000 online program, right? That's getting people in for the 5,000, but then I have an upsell into a mastermind or a month-to-month program after that 12 weeks is done. From there, let's say the average lifetime value of a single lead is $10,000, okay? So I'm okay with spending $1,000 or $2,000 to acquire that client because I know it's worth $10,000 on the back end. And it's like really thinking about just like the long term, right? Having that client in your business, but continuing to add value to them. And then you have to think about, like I said, the ad cost. And I would love to get your point of view, Miguel, because like I'm sure you're seeing the ad costs going up. The competition is really high. So why do you think the ad costs are going so up?
Oh, that's 100% because all the big businesses are waking up. Like I'm starting to see like Fashion Nova's popping up on my feed way more. Reebok has been popping up on my feed way more. So it's like Facebook is like a bidding platform. So the second all these big giant businesses start spending like their giant, enormous, crazy budgets, then Facebook's going to be like, oh, okay, cool. So now instead of 1,000 people for $5, we can charge 100, and we'll still be making money because we have these giant companies dumping money into our ad platform.
Absolutely. Yes. It's, obviously it works. That's why these billion-dollar companies are all jumping in. Like I said, when I first started running ads in 2012, it was not as saturated. You can literally just put a simple weight loss ad and you get a ton of leads, 20, 30 leads a day. You know what I mean? But nowadays it's more competitive. But if you could simply just set up a messenger ad where you just get people to slide up in the DMs on your business page, that will bring you a ton of leads. And like I said, you don't even need a damn funnel for that, right? You can just run the ad right to the messenger. So I'll answer some more of the questions, but we're just coming up on the hour. And for the people that have to jump off now, just real quick, Miguel, like if people want to connect with you, hire you, reach out to you, what do they do?
So you would just look up my name on so you would be able to look up my name on Instagram and YouTube. I pop up both of those places. I usually check in my DMs every single day because I actually run a similar ad to you where I get leads. I run story ads to my page where I'm telling people to DM me, and then I just send them different lead magnets. So I'm always checking my DMs. So if you were to ever DM me and just ask me questions, I'll always answer them. So I'm there on YouTube.
Thank you. I'll definitely add that also to the replay and all the information. And if you are getting the gist here, the biggest thing you must understand is the power of connection. And that's why, like, even though I've a ton of different funnels and webinars and sales pages, I'm getting my best results with just getting people to DM me, right? Just, Miguel said, the Facebook story or the Facebook ads to the DM. And one thing that you will do that will make you a lot of money is sending video messages. And I say this often because we're in the world of connection. So if you get video message people back, whenever they connect with you, if they add you as a friend, whatever the case is, that will do so much more for your business, for warming people up, because most people just send a simple text. But the video message is so powerful. Once, especially a cold lead who, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10 is like a 1 or 2, who the hell are you? A video message goes a long way.
Makes you way more real. You have no idea how many very, very, very famous people don't take the time to interact with the people who follow them.
Yes, exactly. Because, you know, at the end of the day, like, I want to help people. I want to connect with them. And I just, you know, let's say, for example, Facebook ad, they get the messenger. They message me, hey, I need a plan to brainstorm. Hey, Miguel, what's going on? Thank you for clicking on my ad. Just curious, what are your goals for the upcoming year? And that's it. I just usually send the first one just to warm them up. And then I don't have to send a video for every single one. If I have time, I will. But that first one breaks the ice, where all of a sudden they go from 1 to 2. Who the hell are you? Man, this guy gives a shit about me. And then the warm up, the know, like, and trust goes up like crazy.
It makes perfect sense.
And it's simple. It's simple because, like I said, so, you know, some people, they think, oh, I got to become a master copywriter or really dial in my funnels. And literally, that works the best. And it doesn't take a lot of skill, you know? So what is one powerful insight you could share with them that basically that they need to focus on and grow their business for this year?
One powerful insight. Honestly, it would be just consistent growth. I knew zero about Facebook ads this time last year.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. That really built my confidence, man. That's
yeah, I literally knew nothing. So it's interesting to look back and see what I'm capable of now and be like, oh, okay, like I'm getting the hang of it. They say it takes about 10,000 hours to be a master, aka 10 years, but I don't think everyone's putting in that much work to actually be good. So it probably takes a little less to be better than everyone else.
That's so powerful. And for everyone listening, keep in mind, the title of this is Miguel Johnson, how a 22-year-old sales and Facebook ad expert built 3 6-figure businesses in 1 year, right? A year ago, this guy wouldn't be on here sharing and teaching and being an expert. But look what happens when you get focused, right? You know, 6 months of focus and alignment can literally take you 10 years into the future.
100%. That is definitely it.